Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having an amazing day. Yes, I'm back. I'm feeling much better, thank you. I'm not as congested anymore. I'm feeling a lot better, which is a W. But today, I'm going to be doing something I normally haven't done, or not normally, that I haven't done before, and I'm going to be talking about some manga recommendations for the beginner manga collectors out there. Now, I guess you could say I'm kind of experienced. I've been collecting manga for about 2 years now, 2.5, maybe 3. I've lost count at this point. But I'd like to talk about some manga and just tell you guys some of my favorites and some that I truly think every manga reader should collect and read. But before I start this video, if you're all interested in more manga content like this, be sure to go down, hit that subscribe button. Also, join the Discord, link is in the description. Again, before I start, I want to clear something up. I kind of messed up in my last video. I said I made a TikTok, and I never put the TikTok either in the video or in the description. So for those that are interested, I have a TikTok now, so if you like, go follow it. I'll put it up on screen now for you guys. I won't slack off this time. I will actually put it on screen for you guys. But yeah, without further ado, let's talk about some manga recommendations, shall we? So I got 6 volumes here that I personally like to show you guys. Some are very well known. Actually, they're all pretty well known, but for those beginner manga readers out there that don't really know where to start, I have some amazing recommendations for you guys for almost every genre. Rom-com, comedy, slice of life, pure shonen, seinen, just all that good stuff. So I got 6 from each genre, or 6 in total, 1 from each genre that I just kind of explained. And yeah, let's just talk about some manga, shall we, folks? Alright, so the first recommendation I have is a new, very new series that recently just dropped its 2nd volume, and that is Kaiju number 8, volume 2. Now, I do have to say this is a phenomenal series. It is probably the most well-rounded shonen out right now. It does nothing phenomenally, but it does everything good. What I'm trying to say is I think it's a very good beginner manga to introduce you guys to those newer shonen types. So, let's say you're interested in getting into My Hero, but you're not interested in that long journey of collecting those 30 volumes. I think this is a good introduction to those basic shonen manga like My Hero and One Punch Man, all that. With only 2 volumes out, you can give it a shot. If you don't like it, it's not like you have to invest too much money into it, and you can just go on with your life. If you don't like it, continue with another series you enjoy, or the rest of these recommendations I'm about to give you. But this is a very, very, very well-rounded manga. I do think it does everything good. It never does one thing phenomenally. It's like a jack of all trades but a master of none, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that with this kind of manga. Everything it does well, but it never does one thing perfectly, if you know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, this is a great manga with only 2 volumes out. It's a very, very, very short read, but one I do definitely recommend right now. I'm pretty sure it's quarterly. I'm pretty sure this manga's quarterly. It comes out every 4 months. So if you're interested in waiting a while for good manga like this, then I definitely recommend it. Next is a rom-com classic, and one I love to death and I've been collecting for a very long time, and that is Kaguya Love is War. I seriously enjoyed this series. Early on, it's a lot more comedy based than romance based. It's a comedy sprinkled with romance, but the later this series gets, like with volume 22, it did something that you would never expect to happen in this volume. You'd think it'd just be, oh, these 2 people flirting for the entire series, but no, stuff actually happens, and it is such a good read. Some really good characters, some really good comedy, some really good art, and I do have to say, these volumes are thicker than normal shonen volumes, so you do get a lot more for what you're paying for. All around, this is just a seriously good manga. If you don't want to read the manga, I do absolutely recommend the anime. Anime was great. I watched the 1st season and I picked up everything after the 1st season. It is a longer pickup, longer than Kaiju, Kaiju number 8. There are 22 volumes out, so if there's a nice long rom-com you guys want, then this is absolutely the one you want to start off with. Then you can go to Yona of the Dawn, Ancient Magus Bride. You can go for all those other romances, but if you want a really nice, wholesome rom-com with some great romance, some great comedy, some really cool characters, and some very emotional moments. Surprisingly, this series does have a lot of emotional moments, and I think this series just does it so well. If you want a well-rounded manga that just is awesome, and one that I think is a staple in my collection, and one I am always excited for when a new volume comes out, then this is definitely the series. I definitely recommend this one 110%. Next, we're going to switch up gears, and we're going to go to seinen. So, everyone knows this series. Everyone's heard of this, but for those early manga collectors out there that haven't read this series yet, I implore you to read this series, and that is Vinland Saga. I 110% recommend this manga. The anime was phenomenal. It easily had one of the best antagonists out there. Some beautiful art, some really nice hardcovers. Like, these are really nice hardcovers. These are beautifully made. They look so nice on a shelf. The only bad thing about this manga is the release dates. Between volume 11 and volume 12, there was a 1 year, like a year and a half wait time. And it's the exact same thing for volume 13. I'm gonna have to wait a whole year for volume 13, which sucks. This is a fantastic manga. It does characters and just action so phenomenally well. It is such a fun manga, such a fun read for those who really liked the gruesomeness of like Game of Thrones ish, and just like if you love Vikings, if you love brutal Viking action, then I 110% recommend this. It's just a phenomenal manga, one that I truly recommend to every manga reader out there. I don't care if you only like basic shonens, this needs to be in your collection, and if it isn't, start it. It is a truly phenomenal manga that I 110% recommend to you guys. Alright, next is a series that you guys know as one of my favorite mangas of all time, and one I scream about whenever a new volume comes out, and one I truly believe every shonen lover and manga reader should collect, and that is Dr. Stone. I truly and wholeheartedly believe this series to be one of the best shonens I've ever read. It easily made it into my top 3 manga of all time. I've been collecting this series ever since volume 10 came out, which was like 2.5 years ago. So I've been collecting this series. It's been in the forefront of my life for a very long time, and I am truly in love with this manga. The world building and just the message that humanity will never fall and will always somehow rebuild itself is such a beautiful story. And just finding out that just there are people out there who can somehow pull some of this shit off. Like, there are some absolute geniuses out there that will just do this right. In my opinion, Boichi is an absolute god. His art is some of my favorite manga art of all time. Senku is one of my favorite MCs of all time. He is just such a badass, and I 110% fully recommend this series. If you're going to take away anything from this video, please, I implore you to read Dr. Stone. It is such a good series, full of amazing characters, a beautifully written story, some great art, and just a beautiful environment. This series just blows me away with every volume. It's the kind of series where you can't think the next volume will get better, but it does. Every time you think this series has peaked, the next volume just tops the last. It is such a phenomenal series that I truly recommend every manga collector to read, and it's a very good introduction to manga. There is a lot of science shit in here you might not understand, but it's still a fun read, and one, even if, like I just said, you don't know anything about science, it's still a story you can follow along with and just truly enjoy. But yeah, I'm going to stop gushing about this series, and please, for the love of God, collect Dr. Stone. Like Love is War, it's a longer series, with 20 volumes out so far. 21 comes out next month, which I'm very hyped for, but it is ending soon, actually. It's going to end at volume 26, so it doesn't have that much longer. But I do implore every single person to read this manga. I seriously recommend it. Alright, next we have a comedy and one of, if not the funniest manga I've ever read and one of the funniest animes I've ever seen. That is Grand Blue Dreaming. Now, for those down bad out there, then I definitely recommend this. But for those that do want a good comedy, then I absolutely recommend this as well. It does have some very ecchi moments. You know, dudes with their tops off, women's with their tops off, you know, shit like that, but it's nothing more than a pure comedy slice of life. Now, this is supposed to be a sports manga about diving. Diving's a second thought. Diving's just something that happens every couple volumes, and it's just there. This is a comedy manga that has made me laugh time in and time out. Oh my god, is this series ever so good. I truly and wholeheartedly love this manga. I've been slacking with the manga a little bit. I only have 2 volumes. I have volumes 6 and 7, everything after the first season. I've been slacking for some reason. I don't know why, I just haven't picked up more of the series, but I do fully recommend this manga for those comedy nuts, for those that just want a really good laugh, and one that doesn't take itself seriously whatsoever, with some great reaction faces, some really good art, and a very well balanced story. I truly recommend this manga to those out there. This is a phenomenal manga that I think every comedy fanatic and just every manga nerd should read. This is a huge manga that I think everyone should read, and one that I don't think you'll put down. Once you start the series, you'll order the next one, and you just won't stop until you're fully catched up, and then you'll get depressed that you're catched up. It's just that kind of series. It's so good. Definitely recommend it. Alright, so for the last manga recommendation, I have one that is the king of every genre. One that I think does every genre so well, that has a little bit of everything, and one that already has a very special place in my heart. Maybe even in my top 5, definitely my top 10. That is Spy Family. This series is phenomenal, with an anime that literally just came out. The second episode's coming out in 2 days as of filming this. It's Thursday. This is a phenomenal manga. Definitely one of the best ongoing shonens right now. It's the perfect mix of slice of life, comedy, really well drawn action, and some really wholesome romance between Yor and Lloyd, and just a father-daughter relationship between Anya and Lloyd. I think it is a very well written manga. Definitely one of the best mangas I'm reading right now. Sadly, this only comes out once every 6 months, like half a year. We get like 1 volume a year, maybe 2 if we're lucky, which is sad, but this is definitely a manga I highly recommend to every single manga reader out there. If you're sleeping on this series, please stop. This is a phenomenal manga. With 7 volumes out right now, it's a short read. Like I said, it takes a while for volumes to come out, so you have time to catch up and buy these volumes. They are phenomenal volumes. They are thicker than normal volumes, I think. I could be completely wrong, but it's just jam-packed full of really good content, and definitely one of the best shonens I've read in a very long time. Definitely and wholeheartedly recommend this manga to everyone out there. I don't care what kind of genre you like. If you prefer one genre than another, this will fit your taste. Trust me, it is a phenomenal manga. I do wholeheartedly love this manga, and I cannot wait for you guys to read it. And watch the anime. It's coming out weekly so far. It's phenomenal. The first episode was awesome. It made me completely fall in love with this series all over again. So I absolutely recommend this series. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I'm sorry if the camera is a little blurry. I'm still trying to test out and find a good length, or just trying to figure out the nicks and knacks of how this camera works. Yes, I am familiar with cameras. For those that don't know, I took 3 years of photography in college. Not college, sorry, high school. So I'm very well versed in how a camera works, but I've never owned a camera myself. And also, it's just been a while. I'm just trying to relearn everything and find it how the best settings work for filming and stuff like that. But enough of my rambling. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button. Be sure to like the video. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next video. Peace. Take care. Love y'all.